morning, good morning. Welcome back to Penrith Whitewater Stadium for the 2026 Australian Open. Today is Kayak Cross Day. We've done canoe, we've done kayak, and eventually today we'll be going head-to-head. To start with, it is the individual time trial for the women, and then the men. Joining me, Rosalind Lawrence. We're just talking about your experience in kayak cross.
Good morning, Richard. Yes, many years ago I did a little bit of kayak cross, but I didn't learn how to do these fancy upstreams, and the boats were creek boats, so pretty different back then.
That's right, we've come a long way. Specialised equipment and specialised manoeuvres. But let's get into it. First boat on the ramp, wearing bib number 60, will be local paddler Stella Davis, followed by Lucy Casserly, Lara Wiley, Amelia Watson, Madeline Blacklock. So young ones top of the list. And out of this field, we will be seeding for the knockout phase. So the first two boats will be at opposite ends of the field, and if they get through the rounds, they'll meet in the final, just like the Australian Open.
So great to see these young Aussies here at the beginning of the start list. For many of them, it is the first year that they're old enough to enter in an ICF ranking event. Fabulous to have them out there.
So two upstream turns, and second attempt for Stella on the second of those turns, and on course now Lucy Casserly. She's been having a good series of races, Penrith Open, Australian Open. I think it's a good point you make there, Roz, first time for many of these youngsters. And it's great to see them progress from the flat water to the white water, from doing a few gates to doing a race run, and then jumping in the kayak cross. What's been good this year is we've got some new equipment that is available for them. When you do canoe and kayak and cross, that's a fair bit of gear you got to lug around, and mum and dad have got to provide. But these boats, they are provided by Paddle Australia, so that's great.
Lucy Casserly, bib 59, making her way through that downstream gate at main wave with Lara Wiley at the top of the course. As you say, Richard, fantastic to have these boats available from Paddle Australia, because the bank of mum and dad is not bottomless.
Yeah, they've got all the skills coming through, using the paddle to move the gate, setting up for the turn. Oh, and right out of a roll and down main wave, and you've got to get into the eddy. That first up. A little bit of time lost there. Number 57 on course, Amelia Watson from the helmets must be from the approved list, but some of them are full face protection and others are not.
Fun fact, Amelia Watson likes squirrels and hedgehogs, so hopefully she gets some overseas trips in to hang out with some cute critters.
Can hedgehogs swim?
I don't know, you might need to do an experiment.
And here we go, 57, Amelia Watson, 56, Madeline Blacklock. We'll bring you the scores when they pop up for us. I'm not getting them just yet on the screen. So there's a good roll from Amelia. So definitely from what we're seeing here, that downstream in the eddy, below the wave, a critical move. Yeah. And Stevenson on course, 55 in the pink boat.
Finn is here all the way from Tasmania, absolutely attacking the course. Weight on the front of the boat, good to see. Finn was originally a canoe polo player, so she should have a bomb-proof role. Shout out to Finn's mum, Jane, who has put plenty of time and effort into developing canoe sports in Tasmania. Her funniest paddling memory is when Lucy and Del. In the pre-race notes, Finn Stevenson has noted that her funniest canoe slalom memory is when Lucy and Delphore pushed her over and ploughed over her boat in a kayak cross race. .54, Maria Sokolova coming towards that finish line. I don't know about you, but we still don't have any results showing in the commentators' tent, so we will bring you those as soon as we have them. Oh, we have them over here.
We got it. It's happening. 87.35 for Stella Davis, 82.23 for Lucy Casserly, 89.68 for Lara Wiley, 95.88 for Amelia Watson. We are on track. But it's not showing up on that.
I've got it now that I've hit refresh.
Everyone goes through this.
Yeah.
So of those early starters, it's Lucy Casserly out in front with 82.23.
Heading towards the finish line, Sophia Alpha from Great Britain, the second of our international competitors so far. We had Amelia Watson slotting in just ahead of her sister Abigail. At the top of the course, Easy Florison from WA. Further down the course, Masumi Ochi from Japan.
Ochi there, a long, slow roll that took her all the way down main wave, and she's had to come right the way back up across the river to get to that gate. Lucy Casserly, 82.23, still leads. Finn Stevenson, though, they're checking her score, 78.71. So that's a faster time. And Maria Sokolova of the AIN, 68.2. So we wait for those to be checked, and then we'll put them all in order. This women's time trial, individual time trial, will be seeding for the knockout. In the men, we're going to lose a bunch out of the starting lineup. So 32 go into the brackets, heats phase, then the quarters, semis, and if you make it, the finals to follow.
Izzy Florison just charged over that finish line. On course, we have Olivia Long, part of a strong contingency of long kayak cross paddlers. And at the top, Alzu Minazova.
Olivia Long, good line through main wave. She timed her roll well. Enough time, a quick roll, and you can see what's in front and get your boat lined up for running that drop and staying in the eddy. So this is a good run from Olivia Long. She's well surrounded, Olivia. You'd think you get home and you got Merle and Tren and the rest of the gang. So lots of tips filtering through, no doubt. So good effort there from Olivia Long. .52 for Sophia Alpha. 83.10 for Olivia Long. So yes, the order is being adjusted. Maria Sokolova, 68.2. That's the fastest time so far. This is a different course to the one we raced on last week, and this down in the eddy on the left, the trickiest part. So in the race, in the knockout phase, there will be a choice, left or right, I believe, at main wave. We'll wait to see that. Isabella Florison, 86.9. And yeah, Masumi Ochi, she was 98.82, so lost a lot of time on main wave.
At the bottom of the course, Freya Bucock from Tasmania, charging into a year as a paramedic student, as well as charging for that finish line. Courtney Williams from New Zealand at the top of the course, and just off the start ramp, Ada Mackey.
That was a great drop from Ada Mackey. Came out, popped up, almost dry.
Ada is lucky enough to train here in Penrith, so she gets plenty of practice on that start ramp.
Sophia Alpha in fourth, 82.52, but the lead still with Maria Sokolova, 68.2. We are 15 boats in, so about halfway through the field. Courtney Williams will be the next to finish.
Sarah Crosby at the top of the course. She's super fast. I'm excited to see what time she puts down. Ada Mackey charging for that finish line. Nice upstream gate there from Amy Hilgertova to kick off her run.
.66.28 for Alzu Minazova. That's the fastest we've seen so far. Ada Mackey, 67.91. So the times are dropping. That was a good run from Ada Mackey. Impressive. That's a good word. Impressive. So Minnesota, by my reckoning, the fastest so far, followed by Mackie on 67.91, and then Sokolova. Yes, Emily Hilgertova, 63.92 is our fastest. Are we going to get under the minute?
That would be pretty awesome. We have Ria Sribar on course, as well as Georgie O'Callaghan, who looks like she is on a mission.
So this, the final day of the Down Under Series. Penrith Open last week, Australian Open this week, and 3 days of racing each day if you're doing canoe and kayak. That's a novel approach but she gets out of jail, Georgia O'Callaghan there.
At the top of the course, Zuzana Pankova just having to spin back around in that upstream.
Georgia O'Callaghan, 70.11, so the reversing down main wave into the eddy, costing a little bit of time there. So still Emily Hilgertova on 63.92. The fastest so far. Cody Davidson, 71.7.
Sonia Stanovska on course as Zuzana Pankova charges over that finish line.
73.23 for Pankova. So we're down into the final pack. Sonia Stanovska, Evelina Hocheva from Slovenia, Stanovska from Slovakia, from the Czechia, Bekova and Neblova from Polska. Klaudia Svolinska from Australia, Naomi Fox, and the last to start will be Kimberly Woods. So a good time trial gives you the choice of lanes in your first round, and then that advantage can be carried through. Doesn't always happen, but it's definitely a good way to start. Blow out a few cobwebs after the slalom. 66.92 for Stanovska.
Katerina Bekova on course, bronze medalist from the 2025 Under-23 World Championships kayak cross.
And the winner last week at the Penrith Open. We were talking about that final, the women's final last week. There was a big fight on one side of the course, and Bekova had clean passage on the other side and went on to win, and going strongly.
Teresa Neblova at the top of the course. She won the World Cup in kayak cross in Prague last year. Absolutely charging, so powerful through those stoppers at the top of the course. This should be an interesting time, I think.
So Bekova has finished, just Neblova, Svolinska, Fox and Woods to come. Svolinska on the way.
Swolinska picked up a bronze medal at the World Championships here last year in the kayak cross, so you know she's got plenty more in the tank. Capable of medaling in all three events.
Well, yes, as she showed us last year. It was last
32
year.
on water, Noemi Fox needs no introduction. She had such fantastic racing yesterday, taking out the win.
So Zwolinska coming through to the finish.
And last off the ramp for the women's kayak cross time trial, Kimberly Woods from Great Britain. It's going to be a showdown between these last few women to see who can put down that fastest time for this time trial.
So currently the fastest time on the board, so still some times to come through. We have Eva-Alina Hocheva 64.74, Minnesota 66.28, Sokolova 68.2. Some of the later times coming through, 63.51, Bekova. Hilgatova was 63.92. Naomi Fox 65.65. Lisa Neblova 61.87. We wait for Kimberly Woods. Woods 61.88, so by my reckoning 61.88, the fastest time. Bekova 63.51, a good score. And Neblova, no, 61.87, so just a hundredth in it between Neblova and Woods. 61.87, Neblova from Czechia, Kimberly Woods 61.88. We'll wait for the final scores to settle into order. But no eliminations, just to be clear. 30 boats racing. This is for seeding. They're getting shuffled into order now. So times to follow. Meanwhile, the men's kayak cross lining up, individual time trial. And in the men's event, we will be losing some of the starters from here to cut down to 32 for the knockout round. So these early boats, they're seeded that way. They need a big score, a fast score, in order to hang on right through and qualify. So 61.87 for Neblova. 61.88 for Kim Woods. They're just checking through all the penalties, and so Neblova, Woods, Bekova, Hilgatova, Hocheva, Fox. That's the way it looks to me. Yes, 61.87 Teresa Neblova, 61.88 Kimberly Woods. So very close there at the top. Katrina Bekova, we saw her go through earlier on, 63.51, that's a good run. Amelie Hilgatova, 63.92. Eva-Alina Hocheva, 64.74 in fifth. Naomi Fox, the best Australian, 65.65 in sixth. George O'Callaghan in 10th, 70.11, ahead of Cody Davidson, Sarah Crosby. Claudia Zwolinska down in 13th, and 14th Pankova. So they will come through in the knockout, I'm sure. And Ada Mackey still to be cleaned up on the... She's sitting down with a 67.91. And now She's gone up into 9th position. So good run there from Ada Mackey. In fact, she's the second Australian behind Naomi Fox, sitting in 9th. So that score's been checked. So Fox, Mackey, O'Callaghan, Davidson, Crosby, they are the Aussies, but it's Neblova, Woods and Bekova, Hilgatova who have the advantage in the early rounds. The men's kayak cross individual time trial, Jai Deves, number 102, will be the first to go, followed by Kai Stafford, Roland Hammer, Louis Queck, Tom Bio, Jake Werrett, Adam Crowell, Simon Watson. It's quick go, and 30 seconds between each start. We had a nice freeze frame there on Jai Deves, vertical. There's a lot in that landing, Roz, and getting away. Now, you do a bit of creaking. Tell us how you boof and get speed out away from, well, in this case, just away from the start. In the real world out on a river, it's away from something nasty.
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing that athletes learn is that you think if you lean back as you boof that your knees would come up, but it tends to push them down. So you lean forward to lift your knees. But it's a bit more complicated coming off the kayak cross ramp.
So it's like doing crunches. Would that help? Like bringing your knees up? I've heard them talk about that, lifting your knees and timing all of that. And now that you see them pushing off as well. So there's a lot in the start, of course there is. It's not just drop off the ramp and go. You've got to land well, then you've got to connect to your first few strokes. So some of these athletes will have done a lot of drops off the ramp, and for many, the younger ones, they might be in single digits of experience.
Yeah, some of them may have only had race starts coming off that ramp. It depends how many opportunities they get to join in kayak cross training sessions. Jai Deves there, our first competitor on the course, crushing the roll under the roll bar. Great to see. Kai Stafford from WA close behind him, struggling a little more with that roll. And at the top of the course, Roland Hammer from Tasmania, pushing that gate out of his way, which of course isn't a allowed strategy.
Yeah, it's great the way the sport has evolved. So, you know, in my day, the thing was never to go over. You didn't roll. Like, if you had to roll, it was pretty dramatic. You didn't practice it. Whereas now, you got to roll. And you're rolling just above the drop at main wave. So you've got to be quick, and you've got to come up. You've got to get your wits about you, and then get left of that down as you come through the drop. 93.08 for Jai Deves. Quickly beaten down the list by Kai Stafford, 90.73. Expect these times to tumble.
Yeah, Richard, you mentioned that roll bar being just above main wave. There's a little shallow spot just at the bottom as you go over the ramp. I wouldn't want to be upside down there. Tom Bio at the top of the course, launching off that start ramp. Got plenty of face protection in his helmet there. Cruising through that roll zone. Lewis from Melbourne. Tom looking like he's on a nice run here.
.91 for Louis Kayak.
At the top of the course, Jake Werrett from Tasmania. And we will soon see our first international competitor, Adam Král from the Czech Republic. There he is, launching off the start ramp.
70.07 for Tom Bio. Jake Werrett will be next to finish. So the times, we started with a 93.08 and we're down to, after 5 boats, we cut that back to 70. We're going to see times in the mid to low 50s from the fastest boat. So needing a good run early on from these athletes to make it through. 32 boats get seeded into the knockout phase. Jake Werrett, 68.56. That's what we like. I think that might hang in there. Oops. Well, that's an interesting start, Ros, we saw there from Simon Watson.
Bit of difficulty there at the top of the course. We saw Adam Král across the finish line in a 61.95, 6.61 seconds ahead of his nearest competitor, laying down that time for competitors to chase.
Yep, that's right. 61.87 was the time in the women's event, so he's ahead of that. And no, not quite. 61.95, setting the early marker. That'll go through. Jake Werrett, we're banking on Jake Werrett making it. 7 have gone.
We're not seeing it on screen at the moment, but I think our SES volunteers are getting a bit of action out there. Thank you, team, for that.
Let's go, SES. I didn't hear the sirens. So 61.95 the lead. There's a little pause at the top while the course is cleared. It's like the F1. We're going to send down a safety boat. Just the speed of the collision or the accident is a different dimension, of course, on the racetrack, coming up to the Australian Grand Prix not far away. So waiting to go at the start, Maximus Gonzalez, Zach Kaisela, Luca Tavarasa, and Monroe McQueen. They'll be getting ready. I can see them queuing up to climb those stairs to the top of the ramp.
Fun fact, Richard, from the Winter Olympics, did you know that there are 18 bobsleigh/luge courses in existence?
Globally?
Well, that's what Google AI told me, so
18. Oh,
approximately.
Well. Approximately. There was quite a big controversy around the luge, the piste for Italy. I'm not sure where it landed, but I think there are more whitewater courses in the world than that. In China, I'd say even than that. So, but yeah, rare infrastructure. We don't have one yet. I reckon if we built a bobsled track in Australia, we'd win gold medals. They would just, you look at how we go in the Winter Games. We build these takeoff ramps into lakes or at Jindabyne or in Queensland. There's one near you, isn't there? Isn't there?
There's one in south part of Brisbane that they thought about putting it in Lennox Head. The locals didn't like the idea though.
With the mindset. Those hippies up in northern New South Wales. Here we go. Not to be discriminatory, I'll withdraw that. Maximus Caramzales gets us back underway now. The course has been cleared by the safety crew. Thank you, SES.
Gonzalez making his way through that roll zone while his Victorian colleague Zach Casella launches off the ramp. Great to see these Victorians taking up the kayak cross. So much fun. Such a great opportunity for the athletes to jump in. Another race start. From Victoria, off that start ramp. He's gone for the Tim Anderson fashion all white on course.
Zach Kaisela, 79.48 for Zach Kaisela. Adam Kral still leads, 61.95 ahead of Jake Werrett, 68.56, and then it's Roland Hemmer in 72.76. What's good about kayak cross is you can vent your frustration legally on by move. I watched, I think it might have been Queen or an earlier boat. Perhaps it was Maximus Caramzales, like really having a good swing at the upstream gate with his blade and moving it in his favour. Practice that at home, though, boys. Adam Kroll leads, Werrett in second, Roland Hemmer. So Werrett will be through, along with Hemmer. And we wait for the final time of Luca Tavarasa. I think 28.12 is optimistic.
That does seem a little unlikely.
Even Joe Clark. I'm not saying he in that quick. I'm expecting a 50, 57.
Toby Watkins on course at the top section there. His Tassie teammate Jake Werrett is the fastest Australian so far, with Munro McQueen recently crossing that finish line. We're still waiting for those times.
Absolutely, glued to the scoreboard here.
Reece McQuarrie from WA now on course. He is very fast in a straight line. Let's see how he goes in this time trial.
Have you raced him?
Have
Reece?
I raced him?
Yeah, how do you judge his speed in a straight line? You got data on him?
Oh, I just remember him showing up at Eildon Age Nationals and winning the under-16s, which is pretty impressive.
Indeed it is. Indeed it is. So we'll take it as read if you've judged him as fast in a straight line. Sometimes those things, they stick, don't they? And a bit like Riley Galea, we spotted him. He's fast in a straight line.
Isaac Long on course, bib number 88.
.27 for Toby Watkins, 63.88 for Reece McRae. That's a good one. That'll put him up ahead of the other Australians. 63.88. There's a bit of tidying up going on at the moment. Still some anomalies. Reese McRae confirmed as 63.88. That's a good run. Isaac Long, there's another Long, 69.57, snuck through. He's qualified. Well, we get lots of ties. We had ties yesterday, but from what we've seen internationally, this time trial event does tend to lead us towards some tied scores. And I'm saying that because Schlabotnik tied with Tim yesterday in fourth.
Well, that wasn't the most notable tie. It was a tie for first place as well.
Yeah, there was a bow tie and an ordinary tie. So tell us about the tie for first yesterday.
Ben Pope from Australia, tying for first.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was all about that bottom move. Krejci from Czechia, and we'll see him flying down shortly. And Ben Pope, of course, tied for first place. You'd have felt a bit lonely in third, the Seb Montalto. He didn't tie with anyone. He was just out there on his own. But happy to be on the podium yesterday. So Isaac Long, he's sitting in fifth on our score at the moment. Martin Shrabotnik, 61.85. Igor Smirnov, no hangover for Smirnov overnight. AIN 59.81. So first sub 60.
On course, we have bib number 85, Bradley Wood, and at the top of the course there, Wojciech Heger for the Czech Republic.
Yeah. Heger, one of the good cross athletes coming out of the canoe. He's a switcher in his canoe. So Smirnov 59.81, Shrabotnik 61.85, Kral 61.95, Reese McRae 63.88. Bradley Wood finishes in at 68.29.
David Beck from Germany launching through that top section, very fast stroke rate there.
This turn, the second of the upstream turns, you're coming flying at it straight down the river. You've got to take the speed off and judge it well. Smirnov still in front. That's a good line from Beck.
Now we have Riley Galea on course, somewhat of a kayak cross specialist, incredibly strong. He is absolutely going for it.
That boat is planing. Heger. 60.85. 2 seconds behind Smirnov. So Beck, 59.82. That's going to squeeze into second just behind Smirnov. And 58.67 for Riley Galea.
On course now, Kaylin Bassett for Australia. A C1 paddler, but he knows how to charge in kayak cross.
Indeed, indeed. I wonder if the canoe paddlers have a little internal hit list. So Heger is at the top of that hit list at the moment. To follow. So Becker 59.82, but 58.67. I called it earlier for Riley Galea. That's the fastest time at the moment. So we called him out as a speedster, and he's living up to that. Still a long way to go. Finn Butcher will be the last to start. Ahead of him, Matthias Novak of Czechia, Jakub Krejci, Czechia, Zidlin Hocheva, Slovenia, Timothy Anderson and Lucien Delfour and Ben Pope, Merle Long, pack of Aussies towards the end of the field. We're working our way down. And Bassett 59.34.
Yu Mishima on course, heading towards that, maybe just cross the finish line. James Stamp for Australia at the top. James Stamp really knows how to neck a gate.
I'm just going to talk about Kaylin Bassett. So 59.34. That's second position at this stage. Riley Galea 58.67. Kaylin Bassett, C1 paddler, off the podium in his C1 2 days. Because he didn't do the kayak, he's well rested. And let's call that out. But in any case, that's an impressive score. 59.34 from Bassett, ahead of Smirnov 59.81, Beck 59.82, and Bassett smashes the course ahead of Wojtek Heger, who's in fifth.
James Stamp crossed the finish line with a bit of a smile there. Hunter Florison coming down the main wave move, and Sevan Bio in that bright orange helmet tearing shreds out of the first upstream.
Mishimi of Japan, 60.44. That's not a bad effort. That'll put him into the top five. Galea leads from Bassett, Smirnov, Beck. Mishima is fifth. We got some times that took a while to come through. Luca Tavarasa of Australia, 64.94, is in 11th. And Munro McQueen, his score took a while to come through, 66.95. He's in 12th. But Australia leads, Australia in second, Smirnov of the AIN in third. Lots more Aussies to come. The women's brackets are out, starting at 10:10. So there's 8 heats. And the first 2 from each heat go through to the quarterfinal, starting just over an hour later. So 10:10 for the women's heats. Check your devices for your seeding, if you're concerned. Meanwhile, Galea holds on. Sevan Bio, good run, 60.38. That'll put him into fifth.
We have Ivan Kozlov charging for the finish line. Mark Crosby just out of that first upstream. Things are starting to heat up in the racing and temperature-wise out there.
It was such a good sauna experience yesterday inside the tent. Can't wait for it to heat up. Mark Crosby on course. Galea still leads. Bassett in second. Another canoe paddler yet to go. Puchner from New Zealand. We're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, dozen competitors to finish. 60.35 for Mark Crosby. That will put him fifth. Fifth seems a good landing spot at the moment for a good run. And he's knocked Sevan Bio down to sixth position for Australia. Galea, Bassett out in the lead, 1 and 2. Crosby in 5 and Bio in 6. Internationals at the top from the AIN, Smirnov in third, Beck from Germany in fourth, and Mishima from Japan in seventh. Here comes Puchner, fault at the top, 64.66, so he'll be down at the bottom of the list with a fault, if that's checked and cleared.
Tristan Carter at the top of the course, needs no introduction. He can master any class. Hitting out hard there in this kayak cross time trial. Launching off the ramp, Dom Curtin chasing his teammate down the course.
Well, there's a new fifth position. It's 60.09 for Kratochvil of Czechia. So if you get a fault in the time trial, you get ranked lower. And in this case, out of the top 32, most likely. Through to the finish, 60.40 for Tristan Carter. He won't go into 5th, he will go into 8th. Kratochvil hangs on to 5th. Kayak still leads from Bassett and Shmurnov.
Martin Rudolpher very fast in that first upstream, maybe losing a little bit of time in one of those stoppers there. He will be followed by Merle Long shortly to come off that start ramp.
Tom Curtin, 60.13, good run into 6th position. Rudolpher, 57.72, new leader from Czechia. Good runner there from the Czech. That will put him into the lead once it's cleaned and checked by the judges. Next to finish will be Merle Long. Last week's winner in that photo finish between Long and Delfour. Here comes Long, sprinting. Good stroke rate. Through to the finish, 59.60 for Merle Long. He goes into 3rd position. Australia 1, 2, 3.
And we have Ben Pope on course looking very speedy, so he will be looking to challenge those lead times. And then soon we'll have Lucien Delfour, Timothy Anderson, the fastest of the fast, coming up.
Delfour fast on this course and very precise around the turns when there's no one else around in the heat of battle, who was good too last week, as we said, in a tussle against Merle Long. So Pope 57.97 into the lead. So Australia 1, 2, 3 and 4. Pope, Galea, Bassett and Long. Kalen Bassett claiming a few scalps, and still to come. Delfour is on course, and the man in white, your white man. Not your white man, Ross, let's be clear, just correcting the record there. 57.14 for Lucien Delfour, new best time for the speedster. He's mastered those turns, Delfour. Tim Anderson on course, and Zigalin Hucheva next to go, and then Krejci. Do you think Krejci and Pope are going to tie in this? That'd be, who knows?
That would be pretty cool. I like ties. More people on the podium, the better, I say.
You like ties? You spend a bit of time in Thailand, I hear. Lucien Delfour, 57.14. I said mid-50s. Tim Anderson, 57.56. So the Australians, well, respecting some kind of order there. Delfour, Anderson, Pope. That's a familiar trio. We've played all our cards, so now it's up to Hochevar, Krejci, Novak, and Butcher, the internationals, to see if they can better 57.14.
Yeah, we have Jakob Krejci on course. He was the bronze medalist from the time trial at the World Championships last year, and he will be followed by Matthias Novak, who was the bronze medalist in the kayak cross head-to-head last year at the World Championships.
Absolutely. Zigalin Hucheva, 7th position, 59.63. So Australia 1 to 6, and 3 boats left to disrupt that order. Getting a good seeding for the draws is important. That's a big drop from Novak. Well, there you go, Krejci. No tie for first this time, 57.0. 0.14 ahead of Lucien Delfour. So Krejci from Czechia is our new leader, ahead of Delfour, Anderson, Pope. giving out medals. You asked that question earlier on in this round. The World Championship, of course, we did. But here, no, we just use it to for the heats. So on course, Novak and Butcher.
Finn Butcher from New Zealand smashing through that first upstream. His boat is light on top of those waves. He's fast.
57.52 for Matthias Novak, third position. Krejci first, Delfour second, Novak third, Anderson in fourth. Butcher on the chopping board. But a little bit of the eddy there would have cut his speed and hopes, perhaps. .56, yes, a little bit of time lost there for Butcher. 59.26 will put him into 7th position, just ahead of Caitlin Bassett. We'll be happy to be seated amongst the fastest men in this specialty event, the kayak cross. So Jakub Krejci from Czechia, 57.00, fastest time of this time trial. Lucien Delfour, Australia in second, 57.14. Matthias Novak, Czechia in third, 57.52. In fourth, it's Anderson, then Pope, then Galea from Australia. Seventh is Butcher. Eighth is Bassett for Australia. Ninth, Long for Australia. And rounding out the top 10 now, Zhigalin Hocheva for Slovenia. But 32 go through into the brackets. And we're not far away from the start of the knockout phase for the women, and the first of those heats begins at 10:10. The men will be drawn into their brackets, and we'll bring that to you shortly. But the first heat at 10:10 will be Neblova from Czechia, Yazawa from Japan, and Bukok from Australia. Just three in that first heat. Second heat, Stanovska, Slovakia, Maki, Wiley and Watson from Australia. So we'll be back shortly with more on the women's knockout phase.
Bring your for some action. We will be back at 10:10.
women's knockout phase. In the first heat, Neblova, Yazawa and Bukok, Czechia, Japan, Australia. The second heat, Danovska, Maki, Wiley, Watson, Slovakia and Australia. Third heat, Hocheva, Davidson, Alpha and Williams within Australia, Great Britain and New Zealand. In heat 4, Kubatova, Crosby, Cassidy, Blacklock, Czechia and Australia. Heat 5, Bekova, Smolinska, Shribar and Davies, Czechia, Poland, USA and Australia. In heat 6, Fox, O'Callaghan, Long and Ochi, Australia, USA and Japan. In heat 7, Minazova, Sokolova, Florison and Watson, AIN and Australia. And the final heat is Woods, Pankova and Stevenson, Great Britain, Slovakia and Australia.
Somebody was trying
So two qualify from each heat into the quarterfinals. Next draw is also out. That was good work by the officials. And then the men's heat start at 10:45. Same deal.
Yes, that was your phone. Who's his phone? It must be. Oh,
Lineup.
all right, I'll stop.
Moving through. Richie Crosby, Vito, Emma, Kayak, Australia, and then first heat.
A small delay because there's a small. What?
You see?
I am serious.
I let people know that.
I don't know what to do with it because it goes.
We have an unusual situation. Perhaps not that unusual, but there is a snake inside the pool. We're just sending in the SES to SES stands for Snake Emergency Service. Sunday, imagine that, you do drop it off the start and then come up and there it is, the red bellies on your lap. You go, I'm going to barge in and someone comes in and transfer the snake. Yeah, I mean, if you think of it in the sense, there's a big start at pool area. If it comes in the drop zone, it's going to get washed out. You don't think the snake's got that quite that speed, or maybe it does. I don't know, to deal with all moving water.
Yeah, I mean they've been in eddies before. And
Yeah,
they get washed
it'll
out.
hang out there, but if you, it's not going to swim and do ferry glides there. Can you get a picture of the snake? There's a bonus. It's a bit like the shot of the former Andrew back in Windsor. That shot. Do you see the guy who made the news? The photographer.
It is, but yeah, I didn't see the guy, but I saw the photo. I said to my wife, "Oh my god,
In the back of the car.
you know, that's a terrible shot. It's a great shot,
Yeah.
but it's a terrible shot. He looks so bad, and that
Yeah,
like
looks bad.
he will.
Remember with Diana, they
Paul's just going to work out
had a snake.
what we do.
Yeah.
Oh dear. I have to go and judge, so I'll be
There's
back.
probably a snake catcher in our community. It's like, is there a doctor on board?
We could put an announcement.
Is there a snake
Announcement from the flight deck. It's not, is there a doctor on board? Is there a snake catcher on the river?
Just say that's a snake alarm. You know, sound effect.
You can't make this shit up. First snake delay in the history of an ice breaking event.
guys we get to play. No, you just get to play. That's okay. So the big question, Ross, what's next? Snake. Oh, yeah.
All right, pump it up. Oh, those bibs are great. Like cross bibs we did for the ones. Tell me what you think. We have this big thing.
Standing by.
Richard, what do you get if you cross a snake and a pie? Don't look at the answer.
I don't know. What do you get if you cross a snake?
A python.
I like that. That's a good one.
20 seconds of research, that's the best I've got. Why don't snakes drink coffee?
Why don't snakes drink coffee? Speechless.
It makes them viper active.
All right, there we go with the snake jokes. Look at that. You don't get that from Ross Solly.
Okay, we ready?
Line up on the ramp, wearing the red from Czechia. It is Teresa Neblova. Wearing the green from Japan, it's Aki Yazawa. And wearing the blue from Australia, Freya Bulcock.
Now that we get the first names. And then sometimes it's easier just to use the name. But other times. And it's ever last week I was going.
Is red the bit that chooses the land?
Yeah, it's interesting. She's along the line.
So the first of 8 heats gets underway. Teresa Neblova wearing the bib in red, and she's setting up for the first up on the right-hand side. There's strategy there, comes out in front.
Yazawa in the green, close behind Neblova. They were in different upstreams. Freya Bulcock in the blue bib, staying in touch. Get out there and give your Aussies a cheer squad.
So you go right, I'll go left. They're keeping it simple, Neblova and Yazawa. And Neblova takes the left line. Yazawa, good move on the right. I wonder which of those two options is the quickest. We might find out. And now through to the finish. It's quite a long sprint. And in fact, I'm not even sure where the finish line is. I think it's there. Neblova and Yazawa. So Teresa Neblova, Aki Yazawa, unscathed through the first heat.
I assume so. There's a camera there. Sorry, there's a beam there.
For Heat 2. Give us a wave in the red bib from Slovakia, Sona Stanovska. In the green for Australia, Ada Mackey. In the blue for Australia, Lara Wiley. And also from Australia, wearing the yellow, Abigail Watson. Amelia Watson. It's a Watson. We always get a little muddled up between Abigail and Amelia. I'm sure we're not the only ones, but it's a Watson. 25th in the time trial was Abigail, 26th was Amelia. So red on the inside, then green, and it is Stanovska for Slovakia who gets away cleanly. And will she go left or right? And so this early, there's a tussle going on. There's a few, yeah, we'll see who comes out on top from that right side, Roz.
Looks like the green bib, Ada Mackey, coming out in front from the three Aussie girls, all going into that same upright eddy. Sonia Stanovska miles out of in front. She got an upstream all to herself.
So just a straight run now through to the finish for Sonia Stanovska. And lots happening at the back of the field. Let's see who's coming through in the second position. And it is the green bib of Ada Mackey for Australia. No need for a sprint. She's in front. Lara in blue going back up. It's that tricky section on main wave. So Lara and Amelia, well, maybe they're going safety in numbers, rounding out the field. So no doubt about the winner, Stanovska for Slovakia, Ada Mackey finishing in second. You'd need to take that. Let's maybe go out after, like either between women and men or after the heats. So settling in now to the heats, that's 2 down, 6 to go, heat 3 on the ramp. We have Eva Elena Hocheva wearing the red bib from Slovenia, Cody Davidson in green for Australia, Sophia Alpha in blue for Great Britain, and for New Zealand in yellow, Courtney Williams. But in fact, yellow is a no-show. So in green on the far side, the ramp, that's Cody Davidson, and on the near side in the red, that's Hocheva. So Hocheva, expect her to get away quickly. And Cody Davidson will be doing her best to get to that right hand upstream as quickly as she can. So those qualifiers confirmed. Neblova for Czechia and Yazawa for Japan go through from Heat 1, and from Heat 2, Stanovska, Slovakia and Mackey, Australia, into the quarterfinals. Good job. Well done to Ada Mackey and the others. Away, good drop on the inside from Hochevar, but she's got a fight on her hands, and it looks like she wanted to go right, but has to settle for left. Well done, team. And good work from Cody Davidson. She gets away.
These three women still in a tight pack. Who can say what's going to happen now? Hochevar in the lead. Davidson trying to close that gap. It's opened up a little bit.
Well, what a fight that was. I don't think Hochevar expected that kind of challenge off the start, and she didn't have it all her own way. And now it is nonetheless Hochevar in the lead ahead of Davidson in the green bib for Australia. So they look like the 1 and 2, but this move here is critical.
Yeah, these eddies here at main wave are really sticky. The flow's so fast, it can be pretty hard across that eddy line to push back into the current with speed.
So easy does it at the finish for Eva-Elina Hochevar, and settling comfortably into second, that's Cody Davidson. And good work at the top of the course from Watson of Australia, as she made it tough for Hochevar.
Yeah, it was good. Why she was trying to go right on the left that lane, and they weren't having it. E4.
Amelie Hilgertova in the red for Czechia. Wearing the green for Australia, Sarah Crosby. In the blue for Australia, Lucy Casserly. And in yellow for Australia, Madeline Blacklock. So green on the inside, then yellow, then blue, and red on the far side as we look at it. So interesting, the course setting and the strategy off the start. They are positioning themselves, if they're wearing the red bib, on that far side of the ramp as we look at it. That's their favoured position to go right. We saw Hochevar trying to go right from left, and they said, no way, Jose, you go over there. This is for us. So let's see how this start unfolds. Hilgertova, Crosby, Casserly, Blacklock. Good start on the near side in the green for Sarah Crosby. She's the first down that top drop and into the left hand upstream. And away she goes. Hilgertova gets away quickly and into the lead. So red ahead of blue.
Crosby tight on the tail of Hilgertova. They are punching out in front. Looks like Blacklock in that third position at the moment. Crosby and Hilgertova going to a different upstream each. Hilgertova goes left, Crosby right.
I liked how Sarah Crosby closed the gap on Hilgertova, and Hilgertova's misjudged that line on main wave, has to go back up. So Crosby now has the advantage in the lead.
Sarah Crosby
Through in first position, having overtaken Hilgertova, who settles for second. They will be the qualifiers. Halfway through the women's heats, and we are waiting for heat 5. And in heat 5, we have Katarina Bekova, last week's winner at the Penrith Open from Czechia. Bekova from Czechia. Klaudia Svolinska from Poland, wearing the green. Ria Shribar from the USA in blue. And Stella Davies for Australia, wearing the yellow. So Bekova, Czechia, Svolinska, Polska, Shribar, USA, and Davies, Australia. This is a good lineup. Bekova, Svolinska, Shribar. Could be some fireworks in the start pool. We will bring you an update on the welfare of Sid the Snake once we get it from the SES team. Not the best start on the near side, but a struggle going ahead there, and it is the red of Hilgertova first into the right-hand side, but a clean line on the left. And that is for Svolinska, but she makes hard work of it.
Ria Shribar in the blue, out in the lead for the USA. Hot on her tail, Katarina Bekova. And in the green, Swolinska is saying it's not over yet. She is still in this race. Woo, nice upstream there from Bekova. And she takes the lead into the roll zone.
Just like the Formula One, overtaking on the corners, Bekova, but she's in trouble, and Shribar comes away with the advantage. She gets it back, and Svolinska. Oh dear, she missed the down in the eddy. Ria Shribar for the USA will go through in first. Bekova for Czechia in second. And we lose, we say, I'm not sure what au revoir, auf Wiedersehen, etc. is in Polish, but we say goodbye to Klaudia Svolinska. Great to have you with us back in Australia. Of course, double champion last year from the World Champs. Got cold, started snowing. She jumped on a plane, and here she is with a good little entourage supporting her, and she took them all paddling yesterday. So thank you, Klaudia, for your participation. So that's 5 heats down.
Stella Davies in that pretty stacked heat. Well done, crossing the finish line there.
I know, that's so good, isn't it? In slalom, it's the start pool. You're hanging around warming up, and after the heats, and you have people sometimes in your zone of the start list. It's great to mingle with champions, but here you mingle with champions on the platform. And going into heat 6, talking about mingling with champions, in the red bib for Australia on the near side, Naomi Fox. In the green on the far side for Australia, Georgie O'Callaghan. In the blue for the USA, Olivia Long. She is second from the right as we look at the start platform, and making the foursome on the platform, Mazumi Oki of Japan in yellow. She's second from left. So Australia, USA, Japan, Fox, O'Callaghan, Long, Ochi.
Fox looks like she is off to a good start, sprinting across that start pool. She is going to the up left eddy. She doesn't get it to herself though. Olivia Long also up left. The other two competitors going to the up right. So we have the green bib, Georgie O'Callaghan, pushing behind Fox in that second position.
So as we said earlier, quite a different course. Last week they were rolling before the bridge. This week they're wondering where is the roll, and here it is. And Fox going for the right line, and O'Callaghan for the left line.
Fox and O'Callaghan both nicely through those downs in the eddy at main wave.
Formation.
They were separated on the start platform, Ros. We talked about that. Was that a strategic move? You go right, I'll go left.
It does make sense, I think, to steer clear of his teammates.
But they'll go through the rounds together. So Fox and O'Callaghan untroubled. They will qualify in 1 and 2. 2 heats to go, and they're already lined up at the top. It's Minazova for the AIN in red. Next to her in the yellow, it is Abigail Watson. And in the green, it is Maria Sokolova, and in the blue on the far side, it is Isabella Florison. So Abigail, we've seen. Amelia, we will follow from the Watson family as they take on Isabella. She takes on Isabella Florison, Maria Sokolova, and Arzu Minasova. So it's on for Australia at the end and over for the AIN. Sometimes there's lots of overs on the start list or finish list. So 2 heats to go. Looking to join the qualifiers so far. Neblova, Yazawa, Stanovska, Mackie, Hocheva, Davidson, Crosby, Hilgatova. It was Shriba Bekova, Fox O'Callaghan. Lots of Aussies going through. That's good. But still to come, Woods and Pankova in the final heat 8.
Minazova in the red. On that inside lane, it helps get out in front. She goes left, followed by Amelia Watson in the yellow, who's giving Minazova a bit of trouble there. Great work from the youngster. Amelia Watson out in the lead.
Great move from the Australian. She's up for the fight, and the bright red of, well, Minnesota is in trouble.
Izzy Florison for Australia in that second position in the blue boat. Minnesota got shunted out to the right in that stopper.
The Australians are showing up in this 7th heat. 2 to go through. Need to get out of there. Oh, and she takes it hard to the ribs.
Sokolova in the green bib goes for the undertake. She has taken the lead. We're going to see some action in this downstream at main wave, I think.
They are all over the shop, and it is the blue on the far side. I think
Florison, a smooth run through that main wave move to claim the second finisher position for now.
Sokolova for the AIN in the green, Florison for Australia in the blue. Minnesota, the favourite, you would say, the best seed, 7th in the time trial. Well, she was blown off the course at the top by Amelia Watson, who paved the way, really, for Isabella, because Watson blocked Minnesota again at that main wave move. So good teamwork from the Aussies, but nonetheless, Sokolova goes through, along with Florison. Oh, it's interesting as we look at what the judges are serving us. We can't see it yet, but some faults being dished out, and so there might be life after a battering for Minnesota and a second chance for Watson. Let's see. There's lots of... let's not watch the live judging. It's a bit messy. And we'll talk about the final heat instead. And the great Kim Woods, what a ferocious competitor Kim Woods is in the kayak cross. She was second fastest in the time trial, and she's wearing the red. She will be lining up against Zuzana Pankova. She's been, it seems like, it's not just on the platform, but on the podium every time she rocks up. Canoe, kayak, she's got it all. Finn Stevenson in the blue. So they're waiting for instructions. So Sokolova's is, yes, they're working their way through. Florison's been given a clean sheet. I like, she deserved it. And it's Minnesota that squeezes in, so she took a beating at the top, but she did complete the course despite the best efforts of her competitors. And her teammate, Sokolova, gets faulted out, and it's Minnesota that goes through in second with Florison, the winner. Well done. And they're off.
Kim Woods, charging across that start pool, made a snap decision to head for the left upstream, leaving the other two competitors fighting it out in the upright. Kim Woods taking the lead. Pankova and Stevenson still pretty close to each other there.
See that move from Woods. She's just like in the left lane. She could just go left. She pushes right, squeezes the other two, and then goes left and goes, there you go. See what you can do with that. And Woods comfortably through the second turn.
Kim Woods comfortably through the down at main wave. She should have a clean finish. Pankova and Stevenson coming through from the back.
Well, Pankova in the green is second to cross, followed by Stevenson. We missed a bit of that, but I'd say it is Pankova into second. But good moves from Woods at the top. Sometimes use these heats around, practice different tactics on the course. So that one is, let's call it the start line squeeze. Moving to the right if you've got that advantage, and then cutting left to get a clean line into the upstream on the left. But it's her mastery. Pankova scrapes through in a second. So we'll bring you those draws very soon. Meanwhile, let's move into the men. 8 heats, same deal, 2 go through. First heat, Jakub Krejci, fastest man down in qualifying in the individual time trial from Czechia. Mark Crosby in the green for Australia. He's chosen the far side. Krejci on the near side in the blue bib for Australia. Local boy Savan Bio, and for Australia, Roland Hemmer. He's in yellow. So 3 Australians and Jakub Krejci of Czechia. He will be going. I got this covered. I'm good at this. And he's shown he's good at slalom yesterday, taking out the win with Ben Pope. And it would be great if they're going to tie in a slalom, they can cross the line holding hands up. You could do that in kayak cross. You could hold hands aloft like they do in triathlon and things like that sometimes. Anyway, no friendship once they leave the start platform between Krejci, Crosby, Bio and Hemmer.
Krejci charges ahead into that up left, followed by Bo, but the green bib Mark Crosby is in the second position at the moment, coming out of the upright, closely followed by Sevad Bo in that bright orange helmet. It's orange on my screen. I hope it's orange in real life.
Krejci goes right, Crosby goes left, and he's got to deal with the towering Savan Bio, and Crosby in trouble. And can Bio get out? So Krejci easy does it.
That's Crosby. No.
So Crosby in second. There was a tussle just after the bridge. And in third is the yellow of Hemmer, and sprint to the he pushes him in. Did he push him in there? Savan Bio burst through into third position. So we'll see what the judges make of all of that. Krejci, Crosby, Bio. Yes, a good heat in prospect here with Olympic champion Finn Butcher in the red for New Zealand, who's chosen the near side lane. In next to him, we'll go this way, blue, Reece McRae for Australia. In the yellow for the AIN, Ivan, the great Kozlov. And on the far side, watch out for Kalen Bassett for Australia, wearing the green. Good time trial from Bassett, made the top 10. He was in 9th, Butcher was in 8th. McRae and Kozlov 24th and 25th respectively. So, yeah, good fight in prospect.
Butcher taking the lead with the other three tussling it out behind him. Butcher and McRae heading into the left upstream. McRae doing his best and he gets out in front ahead of Butcher.
What a takeover from McRae. I think Finn Butcher fumbled it a little and finds himself back in third.
Bassett in the green bib had to go back to the second upstream. McRae goes left. Kozlov following him in. Butcher goes right by himself and he gets back into the lead.
Well, easy does it now for Finn Butcher. They made a meal of it, those two behind him, and that's Reece McRae and Ivan Kozlov. Let's see what comes out in that wash. And it is the blue of McRae. Well, moving right along to heat 3 in the red bib for Czechia. It is Rudolfer for the AIN, Smirnov for Slovenia, Shrabotnik, and for Australia, Wood. Rudolfer, Smirnov, Shrabotnik, Wood. Yeah, AIN, Slovenia, Australia, and red on the inside. Green next to the red, blue on the outside and yellow in the middle. Of the starter, Rudolf Smirnov, Shrabotnik, and Wood. These four in the time trial was Rudolfer. He finished in 5th.
Rudolfer pushing into the lead, first into that left upstream, challenged by Smirnov in the green bib, but he pulls out into the lead.
Just pulled that move off Rudolfer, but it was well done, and he's got a good advantage.
Looks like Srabotnik in that third position, not quite managing to challenge in the second upstream. Some difficulties in the staggers for Bradley Wood. Rudolfer safely through the downstream at main wave.
It's straight down the middle for Srabotnik. He didn't even look left or right. There you go. So red and green, Rudolfer and Smirnov. Then it's the blue of Shrabotnik, but you paid no attention to the course. And in third, it'll be on the ranking probably would. You just never know what's going on elsewhere, so letting go of the run, I think Shrabotnik just went, stuff this for a game of soldiers. I'm going down the middle. All right, well that's it for heat 3 and heat 4. So we're working our way through these heats. There's 8 of them in total, and in heat 4 we have, for Australia, in the red bib, Timothy Anderson. For next to him, he's wearing the yellow, Jake Werrett. He's a big fellow for Australia. And in the green for Germany, David Beck. And on the far side in the blue, Wojtek Heger. And Heger is from Czechia, so Anderson was the fastest of these. He was in 4th on the individual time trial, so he got to choose his lane. We might see blocks and away first. Anderson, Beck, Heger, Werrett, heat 4. 2 to go through to join Rudolf Shmernov, Butcher, McRae, Krejci and Crosby.
Jake Werrett charging first into the upright. Tim Anderson looking like he'll get one on his own in the up left. And Jake Werrett manages to get out ahead of the pack. Tim Anderson in front. Jake Werrett for Australia in that second position at the moment.
Big Jake flew across the start pool. That's amazing to see. And he took that line and went in deep and came out into second position, it looks like, for Australia. So work to do for the German Beck and the Czech Heger.
Anderson got the upright to himself. Beck headed in and also got it to himself after Anderson was clear. The other two in the up left. Werrett going for the down left and getting a little caught up. Beck in the green. Should be second to cross that finish line. Anderson in the lead. Beck crossing second. Heger crossing third. And Werrett, after a very strong start, crossing in fourth. Well done to all our Aussie juniors out there. I think, you know, if you can keep up with Tim Anderson in a sprint, you're doing okay.
That was impressive. Great future, I would say, for big Jake Werrett And unfortunate, yes, that move at main wave costing him. So good showing from Beck to squeeze into second behind Tim Anderson, who was flying.
Halfway through
The heats, heat 5 coming up in the red bib on the near side. One of the favourites in the kayak cross, the third fastest in the time trial from Czechia, Matthias Novak. In the green next door, the lane next door, also from Czechia. It is Mr. Kratochvil. And in the blue, Yumashima from Japan. And on the far side, Isaac Long. This is the warm-up for Merle Long, I think. No one wants to be called the warm-up, but little brother. And Isaac squeezed into the top 32, 30th position. Novak was third, Kratochvil 14, Mishimi 19. So I expect Novak to fly out into the lead.
Head first into the up left, closely followed by Kratochvil in the green, struggling a little bit in that upstream. Novak gets a lead early in the race. Yellow bib, Isaac Long, no longer the warm-up, Richard. He is in second at the moment, but he is having a tough fight against those next two boats. Can he maintain the lead? Novak in and out of the upright. Long gets the upright to himself.
Let's go, Isaac Long. Kratochvil. In Long. Gets the speed on down the finishing straight. Does he have the arms? Luka Kratochvil, nice and easy. Long now being overtaken by the blue. And in the blue, it is Hegor Wojtek. So, what good work from Isaac Long, but didn't quite have the muscle to hold off the power of Hegor. This is a good heat. Well, they're all good heats. But in this heat, we have joint winner of the kayak slalom from Australia, Benjamin Pope. He's in the red on the near side. Next to him, wearing the yellow, golden yellow, Monroe McQueen. And in the blue, Czech style. And on the far side, one of the favourites here, Ling Hodge, was green and way more variety in the lane choices this week than last week. And as we get through the rounds, that will become interesting. Times being first out of the blocks isn't what an athlete wants, so they make a choice to surf the wave rather than fight it out in the front. Let's see what Pope does. He gets away with it.
Pope in the lead in that left line for the start. McQueen goes right. He's challenging Jigolin in the green. Goes for a roll, unfortunately, in the eddy. Pope, a little bit of a wide line in the up left. Jigolin absolutely charging into the lead.
Well,
Kral in the blue in that second position at the moment with the two Aussies battling it out at the back.
What a shot. Cameraman is out there. They're all stacked coming down into the second turn. No doubt about it there for Zigelin.
Zigelin goes left, Kral goes right, and Pope goes for the overtake with Kral. He should be pushing into that second position now. Pope, the second boat, into the downstream. Kral misses the down,
There we go.
as does McQueen.
So
They're
the-
both paddling back. Good on you guys. You
I don't-
never know what the others have done.
I don't think they got the road map. They think you could just go through. This is a wide gate. We'll go straight down the middle. But it's left or right, boys. Get your coordinates right. Anyway, no doubt there from Vinya takes that out. Recovery from Pope. First off the ramp, first down the drop, and then finds himself in third. Coming out of the first turn. Good recovery from Ben Pope and qualified through to the quarters. 2 heats to go. This is an exciting course, and Heat 7 and Heat 8 are all Australian affairs. So we are sure 2 qualifiers in each heat through to the quarterfinals. But in Heat 7, and he's chosen, we look at the ramp. It's Riley Galea in the green. He's chosen Denier Lane. That's Merle Long. In the blue next to Long is Hunter Flores. 2 big boys together. And in the yellow, not a slight frame either, it is Luca Tavarasa. So right player on one side, Long on the other, and in the middle, Florison and Tavarasa. Still growing, probably. Hunter's tall. The Hunter's tall. You can look at if you put a laser on there, it's the height. Well, what a good race in prospect. Galea, Long, Florison, Tavarasa. So one more heat to follow. Delfour, Curtin, Carter, Watkins will be the next to go. So Heat 7, Galea, Long, Florison and Tavarasa, an all-Australian affair too. Fastest qualifier was Galea. He was 7th in the individual, followed by 10, so speed on the ramp. And it's speed off the ramp that counts as they drop.
Galea fast off the ramp, but Long leading the pack through that start pool. We've got 3 boats going right. Galea gets an upstream to himself. Galea to himself on the right, 3 on the left. And that is an easy lead for Galea in the red bib. Long trying to fight off Florison in the staggers. Florison gets pushed to the side in the eddy. It is Galea and Long 1-2 at the moment.
So they ganged up on Merle Long. He went in first into the left-hand turn. And as you say, Galea had it clean and easy. On the right, a little tight there, but pulls it off. And Long chasing hard. He'll stay second though. Galea takes out heat number 7. Riley Galea for Australia ahead of Merle Long. You see him trying to hold off that field in the left-hand turn, and in the end he got pushed deeper into the eddy. Fight at the top from Florison and Tavarasa, but they weren't able to convert that further down. Galea, no surprises there, fastest 2 out of the trial, more experienced.
Tavarasa the third to cross. Florison finishing off his run. The good news is 2 Aussies are in. Bad news is 2 Aussies are out. Shout out to Chris Galea, father of Riley. He is your starter today and the last 2 days. Always doing a fantastic job. Thank you, Chris. Applause from the start ramp.
Absolutely, and straight into heat number 8. On the side in the full face attire from Australia, Lucien Delfour. The man in red, and the man in green is Dominic Curtin. Second from the left as we look at it. Blue, it is Tristan Carter. And on the far side, Toby Watkins. The might of Tasmania against Victoria and New South Wales. The Tasmanians have been practicing kayak cross. It's interesting. You go, when they're not practicing, you kind of go, they don't know what they're doing. But when you see that they know what they're doing around the turns or the speed off the line, we saw Jake Werrett flying off the start. You know that there's some cross happening, and what better place to practice cross than Brady's Lake? Have we got cross to look forward to at Brady's Lake? That'd be something courageous to line up for. But anyway, here we are, Heat 8, Penrith Whitewater Stadium, on the ramp. Delfour, Curtin, Carter, and Watkins, 2 to go through. And they'll join Galea and Long out of the last heat. Hochevar and Pope. Novak and Kratochville. Anderson and Heger. Rudorfer and Shmunov, Butcher and McRae, and it was Krejci and Crosby, I believe, from the first.
They do kayak cross at Brady's, Richard, multiple times, but not on the Cruncher, I believe. That would be terrifying.
Oh yeah, but having watched the Winter Olympics, you think, you know, the steeper, the tougher, the harder, the better, the faster. It's all go, you know, break some vertebrae, destroy your ACL, and they rock up the next day. Resilience defined. And away they go.
Delfour in the red, he is known for his sprint, but we have Tristan Carter pushing hard. Delfour and Carter go into the up left. Watkins and Curtin into the up right. Delfour in the lead. Carter close behind. Curtin in the green, pushing in that third position. He's doing everything he can to push into the qualifying 2.
So Delfour in front goes right. This is going to be the tussle, Roz, on the left.
Up left, Carter and Curtin. Looks like Curtin might be pushing out.
So Delfour away, nice and easy. looks formidable in that full face helmet. So what has happened behind between Curtin and Carter?
Carter, the second boat through the downstreams. Watkins, the third. Curtin, fast run through, but he is still in that fourth position at the moment.
Knowing anything, we're going to suggest that it was Carter that won the tussle, got second. So we are on time for the quarter of the women's kayak cross. 4 quarterfinals, 2 to go through into the semi-finals, 2 sides to the draw. In first side of the draw, quarterfinal 1, quarterfinal 2. So we'll look at quarterfinal 1 in the red bib for Czechia, Teresa Neblova, fastest down the course in the individual time trial. In the green, next to Neblova, is Sonia Stanovska from Slovakia. Then Australia, and Australia represented by Ada Mackey in the blue, and on the far side, well, actually Ada Mackey on the far side, and nestled in the middle for Japan, Aki Yazawa. So Neblova, Stanovska, Maki, Yazawa.
Neblova gets out in front, but can't quite get too many strokes in there. This is an interesting start pull dynamic.
She was slowing the pace down.
Neblova and Yazawa go left. Neblova is out, but the 2 girls who went right are in the lead. That is Mackey and Yazawa.
Good work from Ada Mackey. Tricks from Neblova that didn't work out in her favour. And she's in second now. Yes, so Neblova in second, but Mackey in a good position. She can nail this turn here and get away. She wasn't quite sure about how she did that, so she's opened the door for the others. Neblova now finds herself in the front.
Yellow bib Yazawa from Japan charging down that main wave section, but going back for the gate as Mackie fights her way through the eddy. And coming from the back, we have green bib Stanovska charging into the second position.
It's all happening out there. And no doubt, though, well, there was doubt at the top for Neblova, but she got herself out of trouble by keeping it simple through the middle of that run. And then it was chaos behind. Ada had a good position, but struggled around the second upturn. And Yazawa struggled down the drop, and it was Stanovska who looked like she came through in second. One, of course, what I say, we stand corrected by the officials after. And it's so now quarterfinal 2, Slovenia, Australia, Czechia and Australia. Fastest in this red bib is Hocheva, chosen the inside. Next to her in the blue, it's Amy Hilgertova, and in yellow, Cody Davidson, and on the far side, Sarah Crosby in the green. Hilgertova for Czechia, they step forward. I like this routine. Stand up, be introduced, get in your boat, pull that deck on. It's a pretty physical movement, that, Roz, getting the spray deck on the ramp.
Yeah, it's brand new. Sometimes it's like an ab workout trying to get your deck on.
Abs and triceps. I always find that you're extending your triceps, but and then it pops back and you got to do it again. Anyway, they seem to be pros at it. And it is Hocheva on the near side. Let's see if there are any fun and games from her, like we saw from Neblova, trying to fool the field. Hocheva, Hilgertova, Davidson, Crosby. Australia.
An interview with the Australian aerials coach saying they deliberately make the athletes in training wait before some of their runs. They'll be ready to go. It's a 20-minute wait, the coaches say. We're doing the same here.
A snowstorm comes through. In this case, it's Sid the Snake, perhaps. different sports, different venues, but yes, delay at the start. Snake story from the Nationals in Tassie, but that's for another time. Do you remember that year where there were tiger snakes around the start? I think it was tiger snakes around. There was a snake in my boat, allegedly, and I ejected from my boat and swam down the course, or part of it, out of fear or shock. I thought the snake brushed against my calf muscle as I'm sitting in my kayak warming up in the middle of the river, and I ejected, and in fact, in time I realized that it was a water bottle. But there we go. On, they're off.
Hosheva charging in front in the red bib. Crosby having a little bit of difficulty.
Crosby got smashed.
Davidson out of the upright and into the lead. She is no stranger to the leading position in the kayak cross race. Hopefully she maintains that.
So there was a lot going on in that start pool. Cody Davidson pushing Crosby into the obstacles and then taking control in the first turn, and she comes out on top, as you say, while on the near side, Hocheva, the favourite, in second. So if this stays as it is, those two will go through, but main wave still to come. Hocheva challenging for the lead.
In that second upstream, Davidson went right, Hosheva went left. They're both in the eddies at main wave. Looks like Hosheva will take the lead. Davidson looking confident in her second.
And coming through strongly, though, in the blue bib, it is Amy Hilgertova, but not enough. Strong enough at the finish from Cody Davidson. So Hocheva, Davidson 1 and 2, and then Hilgertova and Crosby probably battered and bruised by
Fantastic
that
fighting
experience.
spirit there from Crosby. It's all part of the game in kayak cross.
Rugby league, when they smash into each other, they've been best mates and they play for different clubs, and then they'll go, nice game, mate, and they're best of friends after. But that was quite a tussle there between the two young Australians.
This is tougher than rugby, I think.
Tougher than rugby. Yep, exactly. I reckon you're dealing there with rocks and obstacles and concrete at the top and water. Yeah, let's not forget, gasping for air. Anyway, 2 down, 2 to go in the quarterfinals. Next quarterfinal, 3 in the red. Well, it's Noemi Fox. She is on the far side as we look at the start. Next to her, moving right, Ria Shribar of the USA. In the blue, it is Katrina Bekova, the winner last week at the Penrith Open. And
Shribar in green.
O'Callaghan is next to Fox in the yellow. Shribar is in the green and Bekova is in the blue. They've mixed it right up. So 2 Aussies on the outside and an American in Shribar and Czech in Bekova on the inside. Let's see what this brings. Fox, Shribar, Bekova, O'Callaghan.
Shribar charging first out of the start pool. She goes left along with Bekova. 2 Aussies in the upright. Fox is out of the upright first, but she is in the 3rd position at the moment. I think she'll have something to say about that. Bekova in the lead in the blue bib. Shribar in the 2nd position. Fox hot on her tail. This could get interesting. Bekov goes left. Shribar and Fox go right. Oh, Shribar is over in the eddy. Fox gets out It's Bekova in the lead. Fox moving into that second position. Bekova nicely through the eddy at main wave. Fox chooses left and she is in and out in no time. Sribar not quite making it into the gate line. Looks like a comfortable lead for Bekova and Fox.
Well, there you go. Bit of fight at the top between Callahan and Fox. And again, Sribar. So good practice for the next round. Out in front. They good work. They go. Fox and Sribar will line up against two out of this final quarter final. Fox and Bekova, I should say. And they were third. Bekova was the third fastest in the time trial. Fox was sixth fastest. Now in this final quarter final, we have Kim Woods in the red, just sitting under the shade, chatting to the starter. Next to her in green is Florison, and further along in yellow, Zuzana Pankova from Slovakia, and then Zova from the AIN. Alzu Minazova. So Minazova on the left. This is going to be semi-final with Fox and either Minnesota or Pankova. But Florison survived well in the previous round, so it's game on for everyone.
These Florisons are pretty good at kite cross. Plus, Izzy's probably got her fast earrings on.
Fast earrings from Isabel Florison. Are you allowed to wear earrings in kite cross? You know, like.
I hope so.
You wear a mouth guard. Is that considered jewellery?
Doesn't look like jewelry to me. I'd want a rainbow one though. Can you get rainbow mouth guards?
Well, I don't know. You get all sorts, don't you? You have impact assessment mouth guards. We get it all. Whiplash. It's been quite an eventful series of races so far. Some early rolls, some argy-bargy, and this the fourth quarter final to determine join Fox and Bekova. I think these bibs are pretty good. Like every race does their own version of kite cross bibs, and you know it's a good T-shirt. Do you think people go out tonight? Will they wear their kite cross bib if they've had a good round? T-shirt.
Looks like an Aussie icon or not. Off the start ramps, Woods in typical form out in front. Minnesota in the blue going in first to the eddy on the right. Woods out of the up left. Florison behind her. Florison landing in fourth position for now. Woods clearly in the lead. Pankova, it looks like, in second position.
Yep, as expected, Pankova on form, making it through. Woods, a bit messy around there. Pankova now under pressure.
Woods clearly in the lead. Pankova getting some pressure from Minnesota in that up left at the bottom. Izzy gets an upright to herself.
Good work from the blue of Minnesota, but not quite enough. And Pankova holding on to second as the red bib of Kimberly Woods crosses the line in the lead. She goes through. Pankova goes through in second. No surprises there. Good struggle, people. Good struggle. And the green of Isabella Florissant. She's now just making her way through gently.
Izzy Florissant finishing off her run, always a good idea. You never know if your other competitors have been given a fault.
Just going for a surf. So big cheer for Isabella Florissant as she finishes her run and closes out quarterfinal 4. Well done. So Kim Woods and Zuzana Pankova 1 and 2. Quarterfinal 4 will join Katerina Bekova and Naomi Fox in the semi-final. And in the other semi-final, it will be Teresa Neblova, Sonia Stanovska, and it was Eva Elena Hochivar, and was it Amy or Cody? We'll wait for those draws to be sure as we turn our attention to the men's quarterfinal. And 4 quarterfinals, as you'd expect. And in quarterfinal 1, the fastest man in the individual time trial, an equal winner yesterday, wearing the red. He's gone for the far side. Jakub Krejci from Czechia, wearing the green on the near side. The Olympic champion from New Zealand, Finn Butcher, through into this quarterfinal for Australia, wearing the blue. Second from the right, Mark Crosby, and wearing the yellow for the AIN, Ivan the Great Kozlov.
Butcher in the lead in that left lane, charging across that start line. Krejci taking it easy into the upright. Butcher and Crosby in that up left, they are out ahead of the other two who are tangling in that upright.
Well, Krejci with some work to do. Look at him turn on the speed, chasing down Crosby. He was playing games up the top, Krejci, and while he was doing that, Butcher and Crosby got away.
Butcher gets the upstream to himself. Mark Crosby making nice work of that up left, leaving no opportunity for an overtake. Butcher and Crosby safely through the downstream gate. At the bottom, looks like Butcher will cross the finish line in the lead. He is looking behind him to double check. Crosby in second. It's a good day for Oceania.
It's Australia at the top for the favourite. Kozlov. Crosby went about their own business, got out in front, and the gap too big for the athlete. Like a Czech strategy. We saw Nebula play that game too at the top, slowing up, and then you get left behind. Something. Quarterfinal 2. in the red on the near side. There, fourth fast. Anderson. Next from the AIN, Igor Shmurov in the blue. In the yellow from Germany, the only German here at Whitewater at these ICF races, David Beck. And on the far side in the green for it is Martin Rudolfer. Rudolfer from the left. Beck and Anderson. Anderson, Rudolfer, Shmurnov and Beck. Two to go through to join Butcher Crosby. Will it be another Australian or Czech or
Off the start ramp, we usually see that in the lane in the lead, but Timothy Anderson is getting a bit of a shove there from Shmurnov in the blue bib. Tim says, hang on, no, you're not having that up to yourself. Oh, bit of an edge loss there for Tim Anderson. He's in fourth position. In that green, we have Rudolfer. Yellow in second is David Beck. Rudolfer is out in the lead. Still a tight pack at the back there. Timothy Anderson is making a push. He may get an upstream to himself in this up left. The other three go out up right. Rudolfer still in the lead, and Timothy Anderson charges into that second position.
Well, the door opens for Anderson. He's right now on the tail of Rudolfer and into second position. So from last to second, that's a blessing when you see that curtain pulled and suddenly there's daylight and a clean opportunity ahead. So good to see Tim Anderson go through into the semi-final behind Martin Rudolfer from Czechia. And
Shmurnov crossing the line in third with David Beck following.
there's no such thing here as a fastest loser. You're either in it or you're not. And potentially, well, we'll see. The judges look for faults. Not that they're hunting to give you a fault. It's if you fault, they award that penalty and you can get bumped out. So Anderson looks like he's had a clean bill of health. And they're having a good look at Rudolfer. So if it's Rudolfer who's faulted, it'll be Shmurnov who goes through. So quarterfinal number 3, lining up in the red, Matthias Novak from Czechia. He's on the near side in the green for Slovenia, Zigalin Hocheva, and in the yellow for Japan, Yu Mishima, and the great Pope from Australia in the blue on the far side. Pope, the Australian in this quarter-final, and the next quarter-final is an all-Australian. So we're going to get we know Love lost him. Yeah. So here we go, quarterfinal 2, Anderson, Rudolfer, Beck and Shmanov. That was the one before. This one is Novak, Hochevar, Pope and Mishima. Got to keep up. Quarterfinal 3.
Launching off the start ramp, it's no surprise that Matthias Novak is pushing that lead first into the up left. Green bib Hochevar close behind him. Ben Pope pushing into that second position. He was the first out of the upright. Can he hold that lead? Because hot on his tail is Jigolin Hochevar.
So
Matthias Novak heading to the upright. Looks like Pope and Hochevar are going to fight it out in the up left. Anything could happen here.
Hochevar may have just got the edge over Pope. Pope very good at the top turn. He snuck in front there, and easy does it there for Novak. And it is close now for the second position.
Might have been Mishima in the yellow in the eddy right.
Yu Mishima from
wave.
Japan
Yeah,
in the yellow. He's come through. Then it's Hochevar and Pope chasing down. No photo required. Mishima comes out of nowhere. Matthias Novak, no surprise and no struggle there, but plenty of action behind him, and through into second. The surprise package of Yu Mishima. He was 19th in the individual, and he came through ahead of Hochevar and Czechia go through into semi-final 2, and then two of these four Australians. So Lucien Delfour in red, next to him in the blue bib it's Merle Long. Further along on the ramp it is Tristan Carter in the yellow, and on the outside for Australia Riley Galea. So 4 Aussies to start, 2 to go through.
It's an all-star Aussie course, Aussie lineup, sorry. Lucien Delfour pushing first into that up left. Merle Long chasing after him, and Merle may be going for the overtake. He is. Merle Long, the first out of the first upstream. Lucien Delfour hot on his tail, and Carter is in the mix too. He won't go down without a fight.
A game of chess there on that first turn between Delfour and Merle Long, and they waited for each other to make a move, and it was Long who did and took the lead, but Delfour tucked in behind. Now he's under pressure though, Lucien Delfour.
Long gets an upstream to himself on the right. Delfour and Carter battling it out in the up left, but Delfour comes out in front.
Well, this is a repeat of last week. Long and Delfour, they were in a photo finish there. No worries here. This is the quarterfinals, early days. They'll race again in the semi-final. Merle Long in the blue, and Lucien Delfour in the red. So better luck next time for Carter and Galea, but good. nonetheless. So 2 qualifiers, 2 Australians in the semi-final. Number 2, that'll be Lucien Delfour and Mel Long. And in semi-final 1, we'll see Mark Crosby for Australia. So we'll bring you those final draws once the results have been checked. Next up, it is the women's semi-final in just a few minutes. No one on the ramp just yet. So 2 semi-finals through to an A final for the women, 2 semi-finals and an A final. So 6 races left, 3 for the women, 3 for the men. This is where you start feeling the rounds. You've done a time, well, if you've done canoe and then kayak, you've done 2 days of racing, you've done a time trial, you've done heats, you've done quarters, then you've got your semi, and there's still the final to come. A word that you'd be thinking at this time? How do you feel?
That was my description to Richard of how I would feel if I did all of this racing. Our first semi-final, making their way onto the ramp. Take your positions in the crowd. This one's going to be a feisty semi.
They are all feisty semis. So it is, are you ready or are you wrecked? And here I reckon Teresa Neblova is ever Davidson must be ready. Great opportunity for the youngster from Penrith, and Aki Yazawa. She seems to always be ready. She keeps showing up in Penrith. Neblova in red. She's going to be on the inside. Blue. So that's Davidson looking cash, leaning on the barrier. Yazawa looking the other side of the ramp. No, this way, my friend. Getting Lena Hochevar thinking, how's this going to work out for me? I'm on the expect Neblova to get away quickly. She was the fastest in qualifying. Then Hochevar in 5th. Davidson, good run, was 12th, and Yazawa 16.
Neblova leaping into the lead off that start ramp. Hochevar taking the right line into the upright. Neblova followed by Davidson into the up. There's a bit of a tussle going on there. In the upright as well, Yazawa fighting to try and get in front. She doesn't quite manage it. Davidson going back for the up. So Neblova taking a clear lead at the moment. Yazawa in that second position, but losing a bit of time. She's eddied out in the downs.
A window of opportunity there now for Davidson as the boats in front of her got a bit tangled up. Neblova just comfortable out in front. She's done the 2 turns. Chance for Davidson to challenge.
Hochevar goes into that up left. Neblova cool, calm and collected at the moment. Hochevar second into the main wave section.
Into form. Second position behind the leader, Teresa Neblova, and Cody Davidson crossing now in the blue. And finally, it is the yellow of Aki Yazawa for Japan. So Neblova, Czechia, Hochevar, Slovenia will progress to the final. And who will join them out of this semi-final? 2. You said the first one was a feisty one. What about this? In the red, Kimberly Woods for Great Britain. What an expert she is at this discipline and event. Katrina Bekova from Czechia won here last week. Noemi Fox from Australia, and Zuzana Pankova from Slovakia. So Woods in red, Bekova in green, Fox in blue, and Pankova in yellow. So yellow and green in the middle, and blue and red on the outside. 2 to join Neblova and Hocheva.
These women are absolutely fearless paddlers. It's going to be tough out there. I can't even pick who will take the lead.
So getting ready to go. Woods, Bekova, Pankova, Fox. There's some instructions being yelled. And off they go.
Woods launching with Woods and Fox both off the start ramp with aggression, but battling it out in those upstreams. 2 go left, 2 go right. Woods out in front, Pankova in that second position. Fox saying, hang on, we can't have that. Bekova at the back, but she's still in touch. Woods gets an upright to herself. Pankova up left. Noemi stacks in. Bekova as well. Bekova might be taking the lead in the undertake. There we have it. Woods first through the main wave section. Bekova charging into second position. Whoa,
So Woods it is, and here comes the fight. Fox comes through on the line, or does she? Depends where that finish line is measured, but what a fight through to the finish. What a great race that was. And on that second turn, Woods was going right. I thought Noemi was going to go right. She went left. The other girl stacked in behind. There was a big fight there, and then what a sprint to the finish. Cameras will be out.
That was an epic finish line sprint from Noemi. From my angle, I think she got it, but we will see.
Okay, two semi-finals in front of us in the men's kayak cross. In the first semi-final, on the far left as we look at the start, it is Martin Rudolfer from Czechia in the yellow. For Australia, Mark Crosby, and moving along on the platform, Tim Anderson wearing the blue for Australia, and on the near side, on the right as we look at it, for New Zealand, Finn Butcher. So Rudolph, Butcher, Anderson, Crosby. I think this is a
Butcher gets a bit of space on the left there, pushing out in front. Rudolfer in the red, hanging back. He goes to the right by himself. He'll be in and out in no time. Rudolfer takes the lead. Butcher fighting it in the up left, but he is still out. Blue bib. Anderson sneaking ahead of him. Anderson and Butcher fighting it out for that second position. Rudolfer miles in front.
So Butcher steaming down on top of Anderson, but Anderson gets away from the turn.
Nice upstream from Tim Anderson there in the up left. There's still a main wave move to come. Anderson absolutely pins it that down in the eddy, carrying so much speed through there. Rudolfer in the lead, Anderson crossing in second. Butcher in third. Of course, we do await confirmation from the judges. Crosby at the back, such a tough semi-final.
Did you see this? Need a speedometer on main wave. Tim Anderson came flying down, and he had that perfect glide, stayed just in touch with the flow, and that's taken him through into the final. So one in the men's, and we've just seen the list for the women, I believe. And yes, one Aussie in the women. So Nebula, Woods and Pankova, they will be following the men's semi-finals. So women's final at 12:20, not far away. Meanwhile, semi-final 2 for the men in the red, Matthias Novak, Czechia; in the green, Merle Long, Australia; in the yellow, Yu Mishima from Japan; and on the far side in the blue and the white helmet, Lucien Delfour, Australia. So 2 Australians, 1 Czech and 1 Japanese.
Matthias Novak is our 2025 World Champs bronze medalist from this very course. Merle Long, kayak cross specialist, but he is super fast in the K1 as well. Delfour, known for his sprint. Yu Mishima from Japan, out to make his mark. Novak on that inside lane, charging three of them into the up left. Delfour in the blue gets an upright to himself. He is right on the tail of Matthias Novak.
In that split moment of decision, Merlong went left, he looked right, and Delfour got a clean run to himself, finds himself in second position, chasing down the leader, Novak.
Novak goes left, Delfour and Long go right. Long makes an undertake, but Delfour is right next to him.
So the race is on between Delfour on the left, Long on the right. It's a long sprint to the finish. Delfour has the edge. Not this time, he's thinking. Last week it was a photo finish. Look at Delfour closing down on Novak. He won't pass him, but he does stay ahead of Long. Great finish from Delfour to make it through into the final, where he'll meet Tim Anderson and Martin Rudolfer, along with the winner of that semi, Matthias Novak.
Final will take place at 12:20. We have 10 minutes until we see Neblova, Woods, Davidson and Pankova fighting it out for the podium.
versus Australia. For Czechia, Matthias Novak in the red.
No, there should be women. Is this men or women?
Let's start that again. This is the final of the women's kayak cross. It's Czechia, Great Britain, Australia and Slovakia. Thank you, Roz. In the red for Czechia, Teresa Neblova. She's going to start on the near side. Then in the green for Great Britain, it's Kim Woods. Then in yellow on the ramp, it is Zuzana Pankova for Slovakia. And on the far side in the blue for Australia, Cody Davidson. Neblova, Woods, Davidson, Pankova. It is the medal round. I couldn't tell Jack from Jill.
Neblova for the Czech Republic was the gold medalist in the kayak cross at the Prague World Cup last year. Woods, Olympic bronze medalist in the kayak cross. Davidson, 2 times bronze medalist at the Junior World Championships in the kayak cross. And Pankova, no stranger to the game, winner of the time trial at the World Championships here last year. This is a stacked final with Neblova fighting for that lead. Only getting her left strokes in. She goes left. Woods goes left. Pankova going on inside of Davidson in the upright. And Pankova takes the lead. Davidson charging into that second position. Woods
Well,
pushing in third.
Woods now has to come back through to take down Davidson if she's got a chance of getting close to Pankova. That's the 1, 2, 3. Pankova.
Pankova goes left. Davidson goes right. And Woods is giving her a bit of trouble in that upright. Pankova goes left. She gets an up. No, Pankova's in the lead, sorry. Neblova goes left.
Pankova coming through to the finish. She will take out the 2026 Australian Open in kayak cross. She got away well at the top and held on to her lead. She drops her head. Yes, I've done it. In the green bib coming through, it is Kim Woods, followed by Neblova, Teresa Neblova in third, and Cody Davidson still to appear in front of us in the blue. So good start from Davidson at the top. She came out well with Pankova from the top turn. Pankova held on to that lead, and Woods reeled in Davidson on the right-hand turn, and Neblova somehow came back into the mix, and that's the finish. Pankova, Woods, Neblova.
Bravo 1 and 2, order respected. Red and green. Delfort in third for Australia.